Well, time now for Nanos on the Numbers. We're taking a look at how Canadians have been feeling about a number of different issues over the past 2 years. And joining us is Nick Nanos, founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research. Nick, good to see you this morning.
Good to see you too, Andrea.
All right, so Nick, you have been tracking these issues from healthcare to jobs and the economy, the environment and debt. What issues have become less important from 2 years ago?
Well, the thing is that there was a bit of a spike in concern about the environment, but when we look at the longer-term trend line, it's really been about coronavirus. Concern about the environment, healthcare, jobs, and the deficit have all been cycling down. But check out that trend line on coronavirus. 31% of Canadians cite it as their top unprompted national issue of concern. That's up to a high, Andrea, that we have not seen since May 2021, and it speaks to the focus and the impact of the Omicron virus and how Canadians are increasingly being fixated on that. And as a result, issues like the environment, which are very important, and healthcare and jobs, which are all extremely important, have been put on the back burner as now Canadians are dealing in a true and real sense and immediately on the coronavirus.
And which issues have become increasingly more worrisome?
Well, the thing is that when we look at the big picture, one of the issues that is really, I don't even want to use the word sleeper issue, but the issue that will probably emerge at the end of this pandemic, whenever it does happen, will probably be the environment. Because going into before the pandemic, the environment was actually the top national issue of concern. And what happened was the pandemic knocked it off. And the thing is that Canadians are still very worried about the environment. They're worried about climate change. And I would expect that even though it's on the back burner right now, I think that's probably going to start to cycle up again. Hopefully, Andrea, as we get the Omicron variant under control and that at some point put this pandemic behind us all.
Yes, and you've also been polling on the preferred prime minister. What did you find?
Well, the thing is, what's interesting is when we look at the numbers on who Canadians would prefer as prime minister, especially compared to the last election, the one big change, Erin O'Toole. Like when we look at the top numbers, Justin Trudeau, who is the prime minister today, is at 31%, Erin O'Toole 21%, Jagmeet Singh at 19%, basically statistically tied with Erin O'Toole, Bernier at 6%, Blanchette 6%, Kuttner, the interim leader of the Green Party, at 2%. But the only really big change has been Erin O'Toole. We know that during the election, he did have some wind in his sails on a number of issues, but that by the end of the election, it has started cycling down, and he has been battling on this vaccination issue within his own caucus, and it's had a negative impact on the proportion of Canadians who would want to see him as prime minister.
Yeah, and when looking at the popularity of the parties, what are you seeing there?
Well, the thing is, looking at the top national ballot tracking that Nanos does every week, we basically, factoring the margin of error, have a statistical tie between the Liberals and the Conservatives, 31-29, with the New Democrats at 21. But check out some of the changes for some of the individual parties. What we can see is that the Liberals are down 2 points from the election, the Conservatives down 5 points from the election, but we can see the New Democrats up 3.6. We see the Green Party, which had a very tough election, up 3.8. The People's Party even up a point. The Bloc down a little bit, but basically the same. So the key takeaway here, Andrea, is the two front-running parties, negative pressure on them. Perhaps people aren't happy with what they're seeing. Parties like the New Democrats and the Greens look like they have a little bit of an uptick since the last federal election.
All right, thank you so much. Once again, that is Nick Nanos, founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research.